for joining me for this live session, guys. This is my first time going live and doing content in so long, and the fact that I get to interview someone in the mayor of Philadelphia's office, Abu Edwards, the director of Black Male Engagement, is so exciting. Especially for this next chapter that I'm entering. Abu, thank you. So I know you just came from the Chambers of Commerce. Can you just explain that to me? What happened just now, just real quick?
No, so the Philadelphia Department of Commerce is hosting a 3-day business summit for businesses who are trying to get off the ground, for existing businesses. And this summit will it started today on Sunday and will be Monday and Tuesday. And this summit is located at LaSalle University. So the Department of Commerce is hosting it. There's about 300 people there today, and they're expecting a few hundred people tomorrow. So if you're not doing anything, please go down to LaSalle University and learn about how to do business with the city or just how to do business in the city of Philadelphia.
Awesome. Awesome. That's amazing. Like, so many of us are entrepreneurs and definitely need as much support as we can get. I wanted to just start first and foremost to ask you, like, what is the Black Male Engagement Office and what is it that you do? So that way our audience understands the concept and like of everything.
So the mayor's office of black male engagement was created to address disparities that impact black men and boys across the city of Philadelphia, and kind of give the mayor a ear to the ground when it comes to what are we doing for black men and boys across the city of Philadelphia, and how are we making sure that they have access to economic opportunity, that they are safe, and that they live in a clean and green biggest city. And with that office, which oversees the Mayor's Commission on African American Males, which are 30 black men appointed by Mayor Parker, and their job is very simple: to come together to talk about issues, but also to take it a step further and to create policy recommendations to the mayor to say that, hey, we believe that black men in the city need this extra support, and and then their authority comes to putting in the piece of legislation and sending that to the mayor's desk and city council to review.
Amazing. That's amazing. And how many, do you know how many cities have an office like that right now in the
Yeah,
United
so
States?
right now there are only 3 cities in the country that actually have an office, and I tell folks all the time, when you hear the mayor's office of black male engagement, is not an initiative, it's not an organization, it's a city agency. So Philadelphia, Boston, and Baltimore are the only 3 cities in the country that has an existing office of black male engagement that is under the mayor's preview and and their administration.
What made you guys start this office? Why did you think it was important?
So this office has been around before my appointment. The commission, which was established in 1991, technically, but if we look at referendum, it was put on referendum for the voters to decide in 2016. Should the city of Philadelphia make the African American Male Commission a permanent commission for the city? So even though it started in 1991 about a group of black men coming together and saying that there are issues that need to be addressed amongst black men, in 2016, Councilman Curtis Jones fought to get this question on a referendum, stating that should the city approve this and make this a permanent commission. And in 2016, the city made the Mayor's Commission on African American Males a permanent commission to be a part of the city charter moving forward.
Okay. Okay. Because I've never, okay. So if you've been around so long, this is my first time hearing that this exists. Why do you think that so many of us don't know that there's a Black Male Engagement Office in our
Um,
city?
I would say, my successor, Eric, he did a really good job, with the limited resources that he had with this office, right? And with me and the mayor's administration, she made it very clear. Mayor Parker wants a government that people can see, they can touch, and they can feel. So that's why we've been out in the community, where black men are, in the poppy stores, the libraries, the rec centers, on the block. You know what I'm saying? We've been, consistent in making sure that we are meeting them where they are and that they're actually seeing a government that they can see, touch, and feel. Not that, like, it'll be surprising where I walk in a poppy store and I have a conversation with the brothers and I tell them that I work for the mayor and I'm the director of this office and it's for you. Like, their minds go crazy, and it kind of like their guard goes down, and they can have a positive and honest conversation on what they truly believe that this city is missing for them.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've been doing affirmations for Black men for a couple of years now. I see the comments, you guys. I appreciate your work. Thank you so much, Philip. And I have Teresa Quinn 3996 who said she's on the bus and almost home. And I've been doing this work for 4 years, affirming Black men, trying to get the message out there for mental health. One of the biggest problems and things that Black men have identified with me is that they don't really feel emotionally supported, and there's not enough mental health resources. And I wanted to ask you, since you're in this work as well, like what are some of the problems or issues that you think are Black men are facing in your city?
So it's a lot, right? And I can handle it from like different buckets, right? So when I first took on this job, I did a survey. I surveyed at least about 500 young black men in high school, about four high schools where we sat down with 50 of them each. We had a conversation, we broke bread, we ate lunch, and I wanted to see what they felt that they were missing in this city, right? And you hit it right on the nose, Nicole. From 14 to 19 years old, ninth to 12th grade, 500 of our young black men who were surveyed said the one thing that they want in their schools is access to mental health and wellness. That came in number one. They were saying that they wanted access. They didn't know how to deal with their anger, right? Their fathers not in their home. So what we did was create a mentoring organization focused on called Brotherhood Empowerment Network, focusing on mentorship and leadership, workforce readiness, but most importantly, mental health and wellness. Because I understand as a black man that I go to therapy all the time, right? Because I know that it is needed. I understand that the racial discrimination that we may go through, even when we walk out of our doors every time, or even indirect racism that we don't even know that's affecting us and affecting how we feel and traumatizing us. And we may not just know where this is coming from. So we do understand that mental health and wellness is important. That's why a lot of our engagement, our work is kind of centered around mental health and wellness. Like we partner with, there's an organization called African American Wellness Agency. The Philadelphia director is a brother by Damir Finch, who focuses specifically on black men's mental health and wellness. And on June, the first Saturday of June, they have an event called Black Men Wellness Day, where they offer free services and engagement and exercise and things that you would normally pay when you go to a doctor's to get a visit. All this is for free. And they do this every year because they understand the importance of some men may not have health insurance or have access to certain doctors. So this organization, which we support, does this event every single day to make sure that resources are available around mental health and wellness. We are working with our city agency, DBHIDS, Department of Human Behavioral Social. Okay, sometimes the acronyms is a little crazy, but that is our mental health and wellness city agency, and we are building relationships and making sure that if folks who need access to mental health and wellness have access. We were in the juvenile justice center about a couple of weeks ago, finding out that the young black men who are incarcerated, they want access to they want access to a therapist, they want access to a life coach. Like they are really trying to get their lives together. And it's important that our work is centered around mental health and wellness for sure.
Well, I only want to ask this question in case, like, because you seem like you have it all together yourself, and I've known you for a couple weeks now. You're a black man in Philadelphia, like, I'm like, no. And so I have to ask, what are some of the things that you feel like you're facing with mental health right now that maybe you feel like some of our viewers can relate to?
Sometimes I have to realize that I can't change the whole entire world, and you can only change one person at a time, right? And understanding that sometimes it's okay to protect your space. It's okay to say no. It's okay to put you first. And as a black man, being a provider and making sure that the family is taken care of, I want to challenge every black man to really give yourself some space and give yourself some praise yourself. You know what I mean? Like pat yourself on the back. And that helps me in this space. Like I hear issues about black men every single day, and then it just triggers some of the things that I'm going through as every single day. And it's like, sometimes it's like just turning your phone off or just saying, hey, I just need to create my own special space. And I'll be honest with Nicole, I am still trying to figure that space out now as an advocate, as a person who's in this space, and as a person who black men look up to for guidance to say, oh, okay, well, how are you dealing with this? And right now it's about really just understanding that you can have space for yourself and it's okay. No one's going to be mad if you take yourself out to dinner or take yourself out to a movie or go to therapy every single day. Like just treat yourself and just take care of yourself will just be kind of the start of trying to be on that pathway to mental health, and to mental health improvement.
Man, that was so good. I just came from an event. I've been meaning to talk to you about it too. I just did an event yesterday called Get to Worthy,
I saw that.
and there was so many incredible Black men there that wanted healing, and that were seeking the help like in that space. And I gotta be honest, I feel like it's like so much work. Like you had just mentioned something like, oh my gosh, like I can't save everybody, I can't save the world, and I feel like really similarly. Like that's why I started this page like from a foundation of love. And I feel like I'm in this like pivotal point where our voting rights are being taken away from us, like actively, right? And like if you don't feel valuable within yourself, it's going to be hard to fight for anything important. Like your right to vote, like our ancestors died for the right to vote. They marched for the right to vote. There's so many people before us that worked really hard to make sure that we could just be here. And now there's other people taking that away. And I feel like I don't know what to do. And I just wanted to kind of ask some of your advice, like as you're here, just like from one person who understands that feeling of feeling overwhelmed, what advice you would give, this page or people like me who have that similar feeling, and just politics or voting, it just feels too overwhelming right now.
So I would say this. I mean, Omar Sabir made it very clear, and it's very straightforward. If you don't vote, you don't count. Unless you have this pocket full of money where you're living a luxury life and you're able to not care about politics, that's a different class. But for folks who look like me and you, not voting can determine if our schools get closed down. Not voting can determine if our rights get taken away from us, from even, understanding rights of our own bodies, or gutting our voting act, or, making it, property value so high that you would never, ever be able to afford home ownership, right? And I'm just talking about the millennials and the Gen Z who now it's our time to really step up. I am calling for every black man, regardless if you're conservative, Republican, independent, you're blue, you're white, you're green, you're army, you're non-army, is that we have to show up as a collective if we want to change the trajectory of what black men and how people perceive us in this entire country. Because, if we don't vote, the reason why we're being overlooked, because you have to look at our numbers, look at our electorate. You know what I mean? Look at when we're voting and our outcome of voting every 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even with some of these elections, right? The reason why you don't hear issues focusing on black men because we don't show up. They talk about women, they talk about black women, they talk about white women, they talk about other different types of races of women, but they don't talk about black men because we don't show up. Black women show up every 6 months. Their report card, they're on honor roll. You know what I mean? We're on probation, brothers. Because some days we show up and some days we don't, but that impacts us as humans, as a creature. Like we have to show up, and until we put those scores on the board to say that black men do vote and that black men are paying attention, then we're going to continue to be overlooked, underestimated, underpaid, and society will continue to go on. But it starts in the voting booth, regardless on who you are, if you're a micro influencer, if you're whoever. If we truly care about black men, we have to come together and say we gotta vote. We gotta show those numbers.
100%. And like that's why I feel like very similarly. Most people don't know this about me, but I majored in political science at Rutgers University.
Really? Okay.
And so I also interned for Cory Booker and Congressman Hakeem
I
Jeffries.
did
And
too. Cory Booker in political science. I did his campaign when he first ran for U.S. Senate. Like, yeah, okay.
yes, both incredible Black men, right? And so I like that was the start of my journey of feeling like I wanted to help the community. I'm like, okay, I can help through politics. And I got to be honest, so I didn't really feel like I could do much in that space because I felt really limited. So I was like, okay, I had to take a step back, and I'm like, okay, let me help in this way that I'm helping now with the affirmations and the love. And then now I feel like I'm washed up into this like everything that's happening in Philadelphia. You guys, if you don't know, Philadelphia is the city of brotherly love. And if our brothers came out to vote just at 50%, we can swing elections here to our benefit. Not just, I'm just saying. Just so like our power and our voting power in this city specifically is so much more powerful than any other city in the country. And as someone who is an influencer for 400,000 Black men on all platforms, I feel like really responsible to help brothers register to vote because when I did it 2 years ago, so this isn't something that I'm just like new at doing on a bipartisan level. When I did it 2 years ago, I was like outside of the street, like really talking to Black men. And most of them said they felt like their vote didn't count. It didn't matter. It's just another puppet type of thing. But what's really important, what I want people to know is midterm elections and local elections more than anything, because these are people impacting your city directly, and that's what's coming up in November. And so I am going to try to do my best to affirm Black men from a foundational level, right, of love, of like, hey, you're valuable, your voice matters, your vote counts. And the more that you think that it doesn't, the less power that you have and the less autonomy that you have, and the more that people are going to actively like essentially make sure that none of it matters and they can continue to have power over you. So this is like me trying to empower Black men to take our power back. And what the scariest thing that you can ever do, and this is something that I'm trying my best, like I want to register 10,000 Black male voters in the city of Philadelphia. 10,000. And if you think there's millions of people here, so, and there's a bunch of Black people, so it's like if I can do that, I will have people shaking in their boots. Okay, like scared, because now we have just activated a voting block of people who want to hear their issues heard. And my number one issue that I want to get resolved is I feel like Black men who served time should be able to vote.
I
If,
mean, so
especially if you're targeting Black people at a different rate than other people when it comes to policing and sentencing, and then taking away their right to vote, I feel like that is a major issue. So that is something that I want to get behind. I want, on a federal level, I want to see Black men who were incarcerated be able to vote, because they're some of the smartest brothers I have ever met, because they spend time in the library researching.
you do know they are. So there's a lot of myths out there around folks who are incarcerated and are they able to vote, right?
Mm,
Clarify this all right. If you are incarcerated and even if you're in prison but you have not been convicted of a felony charge, you can vote. So if
okay.
you're on trial for a misdemeanor and you still have not been convicted and you're still in prison, you still can vote. If you are released and you're on probation or parole and you are not serving a felony conviction, you can vote. I tell people
Wow.
all the time is that there's only one way, only two ways that will disqualify you from voting. Number one, you're serving time of a felony charge. And number two, you've been found guilty of election fraud. Those are the only two ways that you cannot vote. Other than that, you can vote. So don't let probation, if you got an ankle monitor on your ankle, all that stuff does not matter. If you're in prison and you're waiting for a summary or a misdemeanor charge, and even if you have not been convicted of a felony and you're facing a felony charge, you can still vote until you are found guilty of that felony charge. Does that make sense?
Wow. Yes. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that. And you know what? I'm probably not the only one who didn't know that. There's so many brothers who are probably just have given up just based off of that, just being on probation. So I'm really happy that we touched on that topic and made that clarifying, you know, statement. That's
I'm gonna connect
amazing.
you with Omar Sabir, the commissioner, because you got to do some content around that because that is a myth that is getting a lot of Black men are not showing up. Oh, I'm on parole, I'm on probation, and they just won't show up. And it's like, no, you can still show up.
And I also wanted to ask you, what are the initiatives that you think that as I'm doing this podcasting, I want to record every Sunday, I want to go live with another brother for as many Sundays as I can and continue to have these conversations and educate myself and my audience. What are some of the conversations you think that I need to be having on my platform and discussing in regards to Black men?
So I would love. So we are hosting a child support workshop with the DA's office on Tuesday. I would love for you to, as a black brother who's the director of child support enforcement for the DA, that's a good conversation to have, right? Right.
Mm.
Child support custody impacts black men on a level that people don't understand it. It's from jobs, it's from home ownership, it's family, it's fatherhood. It is so many different things, right? That impacts black men. I think Black Men Wellness Day, Damir Finch from Black Men Wellness Day, like, what are we doing for black men, right? I would love to get either possibly Mayor Parker on here or even the health commissioner who is going to be releasing the state of brotherly love report, which focuses on the health of black men. How healthy are black men in the city of Philadelphia? What are we dying from? What do we need to watch out for? You know what I'm saying? Like those are something that's important. Like longevity. What is our, when are we dying? What age are we dying? What is our expectancy rate? Like, how are we really understanding how we're living in the city of Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Because I just want to get old and die. I just want to be a grandpa. You know what I mean? Like that's my black man goal is to grow old and be a grandpa and live my life and not
Mm.
die of a cause or disease or high blood pressure or cancer. Just to be able to live a life, be able to live a life,
Normal, just to be human.
just be human.
Just to be human. And I think one of the major things that I've heard from my community too is like the economic factor, like not having enough resources, being a main mental health factor. And I know you just came from the economic summit that you were just at today. And I live in Philadelphia. For those of you who don't know, I'm a resident here. I'm a constituent at Philadelphia, and I see it for myself. There's a huge drug problem. Like there's people who don't have enough money. I think we were the second. We were rated the second impoverished city, black city in America. I think Houston's number one, and we've been first for like 10 years. So like, what do you tell the brothers who are just like, listen, man, I'm just trying to make enough money for next week so I could eat next week. You're talking about voting, you're talking about mental health and all these things, and I need to eat. What do we tell
I
them?
mean, I would say this, Nicole. Like, I'm born and raised in Philly, from the ghetto,
Mm.
projects, and all, right? And there's one thing I want to let my brothers know is about accountability too. Like you have to show up, and you have to want it. Everything is not going to drop on our laps in this city. And I understand that we've been falling through the cracks all our lives. You know what I mean? Like, I understand that system. I'm a black male, and I understand what it means to fall through the cracks in Philadelphia and to have people who are moving this city. And then it seems like no one cares about you or you're not getting the jobs. And then you got to, either get the bottom of the barrel type of jobs or move out and go to a different city, right? And one thing, I tell my brothers all the time is that we got to show up. Like I need you at picking up your child's report cards, showing up to parent your parent conference, right? I need you to show up every Tuesday. I mean every Thursday to city council to tell them that black men are here too. I need you to show up to the mayor's town hall meetings to let them know that black men are here too and black men have concerns, right? We can't just talk and not show up. And that's something where I'm trying to move brothers from talking to movement because we can get caught up in talking. Talking is having 100 young men at a corner, just being on a corner, just doing nothing all day. That's talking and talking about the issues. But taking those 100 young men on a corner and moving them into City Hall on a Thursday to voice their concerns about, opportunity and resources, that's power, right? You know what I mean, saying Nicole? So right now, I'm trying to transition brothers from talking to movement. You know what I'm saying? We can't just keep talking. Everything is not funny. You know what I'm saying? Everything doesn't need a meme. When they close down 17 schools, that's not a meme. That's nothing to laugh about. Because black men who cannot read, black boys who cannot read by fourth grade, are on a pathway to prison. Not home ownership, not productive members of society. Let's just make that very clear. We see it all the time. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm 37 years old. I've seen poverty twice in a circle. And I'm scared that I've actually seen poverty. I've seen people talk about it, but you ever seen a baby be born into poverty? Their mom be born into poverty, and then their grandmama's in poverty. Like it's a poverty stricken thing, and I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? So right now, the brothers in Philadelphia, if you listen, it's just like we gotta hold ourselves accountable. No one's going to spoon feed us. Like the mayor has an office, I am the liaison. Put me to work. If you're looking for home ownership, if you're looking for a job, or if you're looking for a program, like my job is to help navigate you through city agencies and be able to pick up the phone call and say, hey, do you have any openings in your workforce development program? I got 4 young men who are looking for this opportunity. That is my job. My job is to make this inclusive. And sometimes I may be the angry black man because I'm always knocking on the door saying I need something because I need it for the constituency that I represent.
Mm, I'm gonna show up. You said Tuesday is the child support
Yeah,
meeting?
Tuesday is the child support meet at MLK Recreation Center, North Philly at 5:30.
Because
That's
I
it.
need I don't know if I told you this, but I just am going through a job transition, so I
Yes.
have free time, free time. I'm going to do some groundbreaking reporting, guys. I'm going to show up to that child support meeting that Abu's talking about. We're going to get some more content and see what showing up, in fact, does, and see who's in the room and see our next steps. Because I'm trying to, Abu, I'm so serious about this. I'm trying to have action plans for not just, the content and the audience, but until November and show people where the resources are, who are the people with the information, where we need to go as a collective, so that way we can empower ourselves and each other in our community. And I'm just so grateful, like, again, like, I'm so grateful for this interview and for this connection that I get with you, because I know you are so busy. Like, everybody's flooding your emails and trying to get your attention and try to reach out, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm so serious about everything that I'm trying to do for our community, and I want to utilize this momentum with the audience that I have to give the people in my community, Black men specifically, the best opportunity to grow and thrive. So, and I just know that, like, starting here with you is like going to be a ripple effect that I'm really excited about. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast and talking with me here on live. That was just so information, like so much information I have to process. And I wanted to also, like, one of my last questions here with you was like, as far as the next episode, because I do want to keep this momentum going, guys. I'm going to be going live every Sunday at 4 p.m. from 4 to 4:30 specifically until November 4th. You can look at the link. There should be a link in this live, affirmationsforblackmen.com/vote. So I can encourage more Black men to vote for as many days as I can until the elections happen. But I wanted to ask you, Abu, who is the next person that you think I should interview outside of the man that I'll be meeting on Tuesday? Because I will meet then, but I want to get to a block captain. But is there anybody outside of a block captain, or should I interview a block captain next for our next meeting?
I mean, Nicole, there's a list of black men I can give you who are just like doing amazing things, right? And like a black captain is cool, right? But it's just like, what do you like? Do you, I mean, we talk about mental health and wellness, right? Do we want to get someone from DBHID, yes, who's leading Men of Color initiative to make sure that mental health and wellness resources are accessible to folks
Yes.
in the city, or the Office of Reentry, Black men who are justice impacted, right? Not knowing their voting rights, not knowing that they can have this job, or not knowing that the city is giving them these type of resources, or the health of Black men. I can get you Terry to talk truly about what are Black men dying from in the city of Philadelphia, right? Says I can help you like whatever you need to really like. If you want the police commissioner to talk about safety, you know what I mean, public safety, or Adam Gear, like there's so many avenues. Like we're gonna have, like I said, we're gonna have the DA's office and the deputy prison commissioner, because I want to hear his aspect on child support and Black men who are being arrested, and you're the deputy commissioner of the prisons. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to see that lens on how are you viewing this and what are you saying to these brothers. So Nicole, whatever you need, I just want you to know that you have a partner in the mayor's office of Black male engagement. If it's a block captain, if it's a community activist, if it's someone in the mayor's administration, a deputy chief of staff, just let me know and I will make sure that every Sunday you'll have somebody who looks like us and look like me as a Black man, I guess. And
Thank
to
you.
move it on to really, because Omar Sabir, you should have Omar Sabir, the president, the chairman of elections, to on here. I think, I mean, if we're talking about elections, like that's important, you know. But there's Nicole, we'll talk about. There's a list of Black men, and I would love you just let me know which ones you want, and we will make sure that we connect it. And the last thing too, In August, we are having the State of Opportunity for Black Men. And Nicole, I would love for you to be a part of that planning committee. We have some ideas. But, we talk about the issues that impact Black men, but now we're going to spotlight the opportunity that the city has for Black men and boys. Talk about workforce readiness program, a resource fair. We're going to have some fireside chats with some very high profile African American males, not just from Philly. We're going to be bringing in the offices of Boston and Baltimore to talk about, nationally what black men are seeing and what we are hearing. So I would love for you, your foundation, your podcast to be a part of that because that's going to be a big thing and it's my baby project and we're working on it now.
Yes, yes, whatever you need. Like this is like who knew that all of this was gonna come together? And I think the main thing I want to take away from the end of this conversation is like you don't have to do it alone. Like there's people and resources out there that want to help you. Just like me and Abu, and we're sitting here talking, and I'm trying to figure out how I can be a resource and a help, and then he's trying to figure out how he can be a resource and a help, and we're just like flowing right here because we're both so passionate about helping not just ourselves but the community that we're in. So I want this to just be a reminder to you, Black man, who's watching this or who's watching this back. You are not alone. You don't have to do this walk alone. There are resources and people out here ready to love you, ready to pour into you, and ready to teach you, and ready to guide you to that next step. We're here starting with the mayor's office with Abu Edwards with Black Male Engagement. You can start here with us. You can join us every 4 o'clock every Sunday to see what you can get here. So that way we can continue to not just push you forward, but everyone around us forward, and make sure to share these resources. Make sure to click that link. Make sure that you're registered to vote. Just make sure that you know that we love you and we want to support you and we want to see the elevation of our community. So thank you so much, Abu. And like, I am just so filled up. You have no idea how much your presence has just like helped fuel this momentum that I'm trying to have. And Abu's been talking to me for the past like 60 days, you guys, and like helping manifest just this one moment. You know how much it took to get here, to just talk to him and get here. It's been so much prep because he can't, mess around with what he's got going on because he's so important and so pivotal in his community that like everything that he's doing, he needs to protect. And so I just hopefully I can be a part of that protection and be a part of that and just support you in any way that you need because you like what you're doing right now is historic and you're like seriously so needed. And I can feel how much you care and how much you're educated and how much like energy that you have behind helping us. So I just wanted to give you your affirmation as well.
Listen, I can't. First of all, I took this Zoom because you do the work, Nicole, and I'm not here like for the glamour. When I saw your work and we connected, I felt that you were genuine and you truly care, and the fact that if we can get more people like you to really help and uplift black men because we need help. I understand that we are supposed to be the providers and heading the family, but we need to be lifted up and we need support because there's a bunch of great men who are just looking for a little bit of support or affirmation to say, keep going. I see you, brother. I love you. And you are showing what it means to love on a black man, not, unconditionally. And I'm going to call it agape love, genuine, real love that uplifts us. So just know that myself and the 300,000 black men across this country, in this world, they see you and we appreciate you. And I feel like if everybody can buy you flowers, you would never need flowers ever again. But I'm giving you your flowers, Nicole, because I truly appreciate your work. And my job here is to help uplift your work because your work impacts black men. And I look forward to being a continuing partner until this thing rides out.
Thank you so much, Abu. And I will see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday. Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you for joining the live. We really appreciate you. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to follow and subscribe. I will also link all of Abu's information in the comment section as well. Thank you for joining me. Have a good one. Bye.